Is religion compatible with science?
Okay. You see a lot of people in a lot of different places that try to sort of make that one work, or try to, like, from both sides too. You'll get like the secular people who just want the coexist thing, where religion can exist unabated, and then science does its own thing, and we just all get along. And then you have the religious people who try to co-opt science and say that science supports their theology, and in that way try to say, like, yeah, religion and science can totally coexist, because guess what, guys, science actually proves religion, and try to, like, twist it like that. But ultimately they're sorry, go ahead.
Science is a way to see God's creation, or like
Exactly.
twist it in they'll twist science to be like to reaffirm the things they want to be true. They'll just rationalize how science supported the thing they wanted to be true all along.
But fundamentally, I think that science and religion are diametrically opposed, epistemically speaking. So, like, the epistemic pursuit and value and importance and, like, sort of philosophy of science is the comprehension of actual reality, independent of the individual, independent of beliefs, independent of emotions, independent of all these, like, human things, these fallible human things that something like religion thrives on and like amplifies instead of mitigates. Because, like, the scientific mindset, the scientific philosophy, the scientific ideology is ultimately just about comprehending the actual legitimate structures of reality and their mechanisms and operations and how they work. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't care what the individual wants to be true. Whereas with religion, it is often the case that these individual ideologies are convinced of their particular take on things, of their particular way to eat, to dress, to structure your society, to talk to your gods, to, like, the particular god to believe in, what his name is, like, these details about their conception of reality that are not up for discussion or debate ever. Yeah. Or interrogation. Like, epistemically, they're completely closed off to the concept of intellectual growth or epistemic responsibility. Like, they don't care and aren't interested in comprehension of actual reality, and ultimately they exist to sort of, like, for social cohesion. Like, they exist for like the comfort it brings, and, like, the community it brings, and the sense of order and structure it brings to things, like we were saying about how these meaning things, like, which religion largely is a prepackaged philosophy, prepackaged meaning for people.
Yeah, big difference between science and religion. Seems like religion largely is just making things up and sticking to them,
refusing to even comprehend possibilities in which the thing that was made up could be wrong. And science is pretty much the inverse of that, where claims about reality are taken and held up to scrutiny in a public marketplace of sorts, where we test it and we figure out what's true, and then if it isn't true, we drop it. Which is, like, diametrically opposed to, this thing is true and there's no way I'm dropping it. So in my mind, those, like, something so epistemically diametrically opposed is incompatible, and any attempt to glom the two together is just sort of, like, in a lot of ways, it's like staving off the inevitable and necessary weaning of our species. Like, we need to be weaned off the religious bottle type thing. We need to have this archaic meaning schema that for a long time really helped avoid the existential terror of not knowing shit about shit and emerging into nascent sentience. Yeah, this entire archaic mode of thought, this mode of psychological operation. Well, no, I'm talking about it deep in that. I'm talking about it on the level of evolutionary psychology, where, like, this is just, like, something that, like, this bottle is built into us because it was so useful, evolutionarily speaking, in group cohesion and in keeping things going. But we don't we don't need it. We don't need it in order to, like, all the things that it does can be done through reason if the effort is put in. But if the effort isn't put in, it leads to the God is dead and we have killed him how can we comfort ourselves now type thing, where the world falls apart because people cannot build their own systems of morality and systems of meaning, because the existential effort of the pursuit is not something that they're able to do. So the bottle is needed, but like I'm just saying, we need to grow up. We need to get past it.
Yeah, we don't need false senses of certainty. We don't need mortality denial. We don't need prepackaged meaning. Like, these are all things we can
manifest on our own through reason.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, go beyond or something.
Yeah.
Like, that aren't necessary to our psychologies anymore, almost. I don't know, like, I can't speak for the experiences of other humans. Like, it might be a crutch that some people still need, that, like...
We're still, like, in our nascency, but my ultimate point was that I think the whole debate or question of, like, the compatibility of science and religion is the question of, are we ready to grow up yet? Really, it's like that we still think that these two diametrically opposed epistemic frameworks are compatible or could be compatible reflects the fact that we don't quite understand the nature of religion or the epistemic value and importance of something like science. Like
the incompatibility of science and religion shows itself in a lot of ways. When, like, the example that comes to mind is the, like, creationism versus evolution debate. Whenever a religious claim contrasts with what we actually discover to be true of reality, it shows, like, that's the point at which the incompatibility
is evident.
Yeah, it's like,
and especially like when the literal divergence happens within the mind of the believer, it's like, okay, here's a point at which science diverges with religion. I choose religion. So here's an aspect of reality that was discovered that I'm going to reject because I want to hold on to my ideology. And I think that speaks to the fundamental incompatibility of these two approaches to the concept of epistemology.
Can you just say it again? Either
that's a crossroad of points at which they're like, this science approach to epistemology says this and has uncovered this information, but my religion says this. I'm going to choose my religion. And that's a huge point that happens all the time that emphasizes the fundamental incompatibility of the two ideologies, of the two approaches to epistemology.
Yeah, I feel like whenever that happens, when it's something big, it can cause schisms within religions where some subset of the religious people stick to the old beliefs and another, like, update their...
There you go.
Like, there's the creationists, like the fundamentalists who are like, okay, I'm rejecting evolution, and there's other religious people, like, I still believe in God and Jesus, but, like, I don't reject evolution. I'll sort of try to rationalize it, and, like, I still think Adam and Eve, it's so ridiculous.
And the more that the ideology, the epistemic approach that is religion concedes to science, the less it exists as religion, the less it is religion. And if it conceded fully, it would be an honest epistemology, and it would no longer be this thing that we call religion because of the fact that it is so epistemically distinct from science, or like an approach to science. And because it has such a clinging nature to just like, this claim is true no matter what, shut up. Like that sort of approach is
fundamentally incompatible with
bingo.
Science. It's only compatible religion like science is compatible with religion if you don't apply the science to like the
claims of religion. There you go.
Like, religious people
therefore science is not compatible with religion.
Religious people are fine when science is like about like, oh, the science of rocks or
like,
rocket
I mean,
science.
I guess I can rationalize evolution into my religion, but oh fuck no, that I can't rationalize that for that scientism and get out of my church.
I remember when science uncovers the fact that Earth is not the center of the universe.
We discovered and
when that happened, and then religion reacts by rejecting the claim, or rejecting what is uncovered about reality
violently,
until it's like they just can't anymore.
Until the consensus is known and the evidence is so obvious and widespread that, like, in order, the act of contradicting it would be like a social faux pas. Like, to the point where it's like, oh shit, we're going to start losing adherents, and like, because religions are sort of like mimetic viruses. Like, so they will adapt to a situation in which their existence is threatened. So it sort of happens like that. When the zeitgeist advances beyond it, it adapts or it fades.
Like
so a lot of ancient denominations faded because they were too hardcore. But the ones that adapt survive, mimetically.